guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's middle of November already and Christmas season is coming up. So I know that a lot of you guys are American. Actually, about 1/4 of my audience is from the US, and you celebrate Thanksgiving over there. We don't do that here in Europe, but nevertheless, it is in the Christmassy realm of holidays, which I and my family at least are celebrating. So I wanted to make something festive that can be your Thanksgiving outfit, your Christmas outfit, any other winter holiday outfit, or just a really nice, cute, very easy evening outfit that you want to wear on any other occasion. So today we're going to work with velvet, and as you know, velvet is a really beautiful fabric to begin with, which is so, in my opinion, festive and Christmassy. But of course it can also be anything else that you want it to be. But I just really like the effect that light has on the fabric. I don't know if you can see that, but it's beautiful. And this color in particular is just amazing, I think, and I wanted to make a really nice cocktail dress out of it. My priority for this dress is that it's gonna be easy. I want this to be a super fast pattern making, and yeah, I have no idea how to do it yet, but we're gonna make it, and I'm gonna take you with me, of course. So let's go. So I will be starting with this pattern right here. This is a very basic knit dress pattern, which is already slimmed to fit elastic fabric. This fabric right here has about the same elasticity as the knit fabric I was using, so I think that the tightness of this pattern fits this fabric very well, so I can use this. And I didn't want it to be, you know, a full sleeve and not a turtleneck. I actually want this to have a really nice square cutout for the chest area. So it's gonna have straps, but then I was also thinking about making like off-the-shoulder sleeves that go all the way down to your wrists, and maybe, just maybe, we're gonna make some gloves as well. So actually, for the first time in my life, it feels like I was testing out a glove pattern that I found online, which looks like this. It's out of the fabric, it's already velvet. It was horrible to sew, let me tell you. This is a super advanced thing that has like a very high level of difficulty. I struggled a lot. The pattern is just a generic size 7, I think, glove pattern that I found online. I can link you the pattern of the glove down in the description below. It's actually from a very renowned pattern maker. It is in German though, so sorry to everybody who doesn't speak German. And also it is not for free, as usually knowledge like that, you know, is. And yeah, I will link it down in the description below. I just saw that there's a hole in my pinky, so that's great. But anyways, I digress. This is super difficult, especially with the velvet fabric, because the hairs on one side make the fabric just move around in ways that I am not used to that much because I don't work with velvet on a daily. I'm familiar, obviously, I've worked with velvet before, I know how it behaves, but if you are working, you know, with these tiny seam allowances of 2 millimeters, and that is not something I made up, it's in the pattern, yeah, which is just super tiny, and then you need to, you know, be very exact with like the small corners that you have to turn, and like this thumb situation is a whole other thing, and all of that. So it was very hard for me to make this glove out of velvet. The whole reason why I'm telling you this is because I'm not sure yet if I want to include a sleeve glove, a glove sleeve in the dress, just because it's very difficult and I don't know if I want to do 2 of these that need to look good again. So we are also going to do a slit in the dress. It's going to be midi length over the knee, maybe to the knee, not sure yet, but I actually find that the length of this dress is really pretty on me, so I think I'm just gonna leave the length of the dress as is and change up the upper area, and then of course add the sleeves, the straps, maybe the gloves. So I have my original pattern right here that I made, and I think I'm just gonna work off of this because I have the printed out version of my pattern also. So I am free to use this one. So I marked on my mannequin before that I want to go 19 centimeters from about the center of my shoulder seam down right here. It's just above the bust line, which in my opinion is a bit sus. So let's go up 4 centimeters. So I think, because I'm not sure how far or low I want the neck cutout to be, that for now I'm just gonna cut out more, like for sure more than I would need for this dress. And also I think in the armhole area, because I don't have sleeves that will be attached to this. Like, I think if I make the off-the-shoulder sleeves, they're literally gonna behave like high gloves. Debatable if we're gonna do the glove part, but you know, like it's just gonna be a thing that you put on, not with the dress. It's gonna be separate, because I think it's gonna do weird things if it were attached to the armhole cutout, which is why we're just gonna ignore that and just cut out like a straight line. I think we're also just gonna ignore the armhole for now. Okay, so I switched to my full pattern because it is double-sided. It's not just in half, and I don't have to cut out anything on the fold, which I want to avoid with velvet. As you can see, it's like super hard to get it flat and to get like a nice straight fold on one side, so I just resort to my actual pattern. Now we're gonna cut out this pattern without seam allowance because it is stretchy and we don't need that. And since I am working with my overlock to do this, which only works with 0.5 centimeters seam allowance anyways, it literally doesn't matter, so we're just gonna not do that. Also, the front and the back piece are somewhat the same anyways, so I'm cutting out the front piece double because it doesn't matter. It's literally an elastic fabric that is fine. It's fine if you have the same pattern piece for this. So now that I'm here at the armhole cutout, I think I'm just gonna like do this kind of straight line and mark where the armhole cutout starts, because I don't know how the fabric will behave with like this rounded cutout without a sleeve attached. The fabric in front might pull too much to the front so that there's too much side boobage revealed, which I don't really like, so I'm gonna see how this goes. And now we're just gonna cut off right here, straight across, and do the rest of the pattern fitting once this is sewn together. So actually, I think I have an idea for the back. I don't know about you, but I think this draping in the back looks absolutely stunning. And I know that it just holds up at the moment because this right here is not smooth and it just, you know, holds its shape because of that. But you can not take anything away off of the length of what I cut out and just make a gathering stitch to the center back of the dress. I don't know how far down, maybe just until the waist, maybe where the cheeks start. I think that would also look very sexy, and keep it in place that way, which means that you need more fabric that we luckily still have on here. And then in the front, we're just gonna, you know, business in the front, party in the back. I might want to do like a neck holder or strapless even. If I do this and it pulls down a lot, you know, where to put the straps. Maybe it's best to like have a neck holder or like do a bow here. That might also look really, really pretty. I think I just need to put this on myself and see what it looks like on my body actually, and not just on the mannequin. And then also put the stitches in the back and see how that looks once it's gathered. And also if it holds up, if I even need straps, you know. So this is the situation right now. As you can see, we are desperately in need of straps because we are making this pulling situation. By the way, I just bowed down and it ripped on me, so sorry, this is not the full picture. We are going to do this, but differently, with a bit more strength. I was thinking maybe of a cord situation that you can adjust. Maybe something like this would work because it's small, not irritating, not intruding, nothing, and I think that would do the job because we need straps desperately. Since it's pulling in the back, it is pulling in the front as well. Strapless is a no-go. We're also desperately in the need of a slit because I cannot walk. There is no leg space because I wanted it to be tight. So we are going to put a slit in. I am actually going to mark the slit end. So I want to have it on the left side, maybe up until here. And we're just gonna cut into the slit and overlock it, fold it, top stitch it. We are also going to do the same method for hem and neck cutout, and yeah, I'm going to have to test out what I want to do for the gathering in the back. I'm excited, it looks really, really good in the velvet. So for the gathering in the back, I cut out a piece that was 30 centimeters wide and 50 centimeters long, which I used as the facing for the back gathering. I decided to do a thicker gathering with more strength, which I would do with a string or a cord or thicker one that I would make a tunnel for. And this piece right there is the facing to go on the inside of the dress in order to create the tunnel. I overlocked all of the sides of the facing so it will look neat and tidy on the inside, and went ahead and pinned the facing onto the center back of my dress. Now that I already put the side seams together, it was a bit more difficult than I would have liked it to be. It's way easier if you do this in the very beginning of your dress when the side seams are still open so that you don't have a tube to pin into. But if you already have your side seams closed, I can recommend just putting a ruler or something similar into the dress and therefore use this as backing in order to be able to pin correctly. But if you read my sewing instructions, that will be of course provided with the pattern that you can get with the link down below. I will of course give you the correct order of things so you won't have the problem that I am facing right now. But that's totally fine, as I was literally making the dress and the pattern on the spot, so I am fine with this. I went ahead and stitched down the center back and then stitched left and right 1 centimeter next to the center back stitching line back up again. I left the tiny tunnels basically that I created on the top and bottom open because I'm going to insert my string to ruffle up the back in just a second. Okay, so let me quickly tell you what I did. As you can see, this is the inside of the center back now. So I put the strap in. Just ignore the overlock job. It's awful, I know, but it's velvet. It does its own thing, whatever. It's on the inside and it will be wrinkled up anyways, so it's not a big deal. I stitched 3 rows right here, the center back and then about 1 centimeter left and right of it. These are the tunnels where a cord will go in. I cut into the slit. Now I'm going to overlock this all the way around and then just fold it to the outside like this. Gonna let it like go into a point where the end is, like this. Try to catch it with my stitches and then go down the other way so that it is a nice finish in the slit. When top stitching elastics, it's super important to use a small stitching length, because the bigger your stitches, the more non-elastic string there is to prevent the elastic to stretch, if that makes sense. So just keep your stitching length to the minimum. I was using, I think, a 1.5 here, because this is just gonna keep the fabric elastic, and that's what you want. Especially once you're doing the neckline and the hemline and you're top stitching that, you want to use a small stitching length as well. I am now trying to iron the slit as nicely as possible, since the shape of the slit was altered with folding the seam allowance to the sides. It's, you know, kind of difficult to make a new shape, but it's possible, so just take your time with ironing and make it as neat and tidy as possible. Now for putting the cord or the string into the tunnels in the center back. I am not explaining what I was doing here just to avoid confusion, because it's wrong. So you will have a 40 centimeter string that you will put in from the top, so from the neckline, and you will work your way down while gathering, and then once you reach the lower opening of your tunnels, you will do a 180-degree turn and go back up with your safety pin through the other tunnel until you reach the neckline. You will have to gather the dress a bunch while doing this. Just pin the ends of your strings at the neckline and secure them so that they're not gonna come loose. The next step is already putting the elastics in. The elastics are 40 centimeters each for both straps, and I started pinning them just in the places that are indicated in the pattern, but then I actually switched and made a knot at the end just to secure the elastic into place so that they're not going to come loose through the stitching length of 1.5 that I was using. This is just a security measure. I would recommend doing this. You won't see it in the end, but it just keeps the strings where they're supposed to be. I then overlock the neckline and the hemline as well in one go and fold the neckline 1 centimeter towards the wrong side of the fabric to top stitch them at about 5 millimeters. And for the hem, I am doing exactly the same. I'm starting from one end of the slit, making sure that the seam allowance that I folded up is not visible from the outside, and then work my way around the whole hem to the other side of the slit. So the sleeves are pretty straightforward. You have 2 of these sleeve pieces and you just fold them in on themselves and create a tube basically by closing the sleeve side seam. You also want to overlock the upper arm line as well as the hemline of your sleeve, so like the wrist line, I guess, and then do exactly the same as you did for your dress. Fold down the upper arm seam and the wrist line and just top stitch them at 5 millimeters. That's it already for today's video. This was a super easy sew. After I figured everything out, it really was a quick and easy sew, so I can recommend doing this if you are just looking out for a super elegant dress that is easy to make. I will put the link down in the description below for the pattern if you're interested, of course. And I just wanted to quickly tell you a small story about the photo shoot and the video session in the end, because this was Thanksgiving themed, or somewhat in that world of coming together, family time, holidays, whatever. I really wanted to have a photo shoot and a video shoot in the kitchen, cooking something, so that you don't wonder why this is such a stark contrast between the evening dress and then me cooking something that would make the dress get dirty, I guess. Yeah, that's just an explanation so that you're not thinking to yourself like, what the hell is going on? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you'll get notified every time that I post. I post on Sundays, so you can keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, of course, you could go and check out my channel. I have loads of videos all about fashion, sewing, and of course pattern constructing, which is my main thing here on my channel. I have a pattern business. All of my videos have patterns that I made myself and that you can get on my Etsy store, which is linked down below as well if you are looking to support me, or if you're just looking to sew something really cool and modern. Of course, you can go check my store out. I would appreciate it very much. Just as a quick info, I am running a November sale with 40% off of all of my patterns in my store. So what other time than now to check out everything that I have and to get all of your dream patterns on my Etsy store, so go ahead and click the link below for that. Also, if you haven't already, go and follow me on my Instagram and all of my socials. The handle is exactly the same as here on my YouTube. I am posting all of the behind the scenes content that maybe you're looking for. I am posting stories of my life, my cat, my work, everything. I am actually quite fun, if I dare say so myself, and a bit more giggly and not as serious as here on my channel. Such a shame, but if you want to see that side of myself and my friends, go ahead and follow me on my Instagram. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna show you what the dress looks like while me cooking, I guess. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'm gonna see you next Sunday. Bye guys!
Hast du was? Was ist passiert? Gar nix.